Have you ever felt this profound sense of loneliness, especially as you get into your 50s, 60s, or even your 70s? Well, what if that feeling wasn't an ending at all, but actually a brand new beginning? Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea from our source material, that this sense of isolation, it's not a problem you need to solve. It's actually a sign of your own evolution. So let's get right into it.
So let's just start with this question right here. I want you to take a second and really think about it. Have you noticed a shift lately? Maybe conversations that used to feel so full of life now just feel a little hollow. Or maybe going to social events just doesn't give you that same spark anymore. If any of that is ringing a bell, then what we're about to talk about might just offer you a whole new way of looking at things. And this is probably the most important message you need to hear right now. You are not being left behind. This feeling has nothing to do with some kind of personal failure. It's not that society is just moving on without you, or that you've somehow lost your touch. The source material is crystal clear about this. There is something much deeper going on.
In fact, we're being asked to completely reframe this whole experience. So instead of seeing it as this painful, negative thing called isolation, we're encouraged to see it for what it truly is, a magnificent cosmic sign. It's like a flare going off, signaling that a really profound internal shift is happening right now.
This really breaks it down into two totally different ways of seeing this feeling. On one side, you've got the standard, everyday 3D view, which tells us that feeling lonely means you're isolated. Simple as that. But on the other side, there's what's called the cosmic invitation. And this perspective says that this feeling is a direct call for you to evolve. The choice of which perspective you take, well, that's entirely up to you.
Okay, so if this is some kind of evolutionary step, what's actually causing it? Our source material calls this whole period the Great Consciousness Update. The idea is that all of humanity, and you as a part of it, are right in the middle of this massive spiritual and energetic upgrade.
And according to the source, this huge update is all leading us toward a pretty specific event, the 2035 Ascension. Now, try not to think of this as just some date on a calendar. It's much more like a destination, a collective shift for all of us into a higher state of being. And our souls, well, they're getting ready for this moment, and that preparation is exactly what's causing all these big internal changes.
It's kind of like a major software update for your computer or your phone. Before it can install a critical new operating system, what does it do? It has to go offline. It disconnects from the internet, it closes all the other apps. Well, our soul is doing something just like that. It's temporarily hitting mute on all the 3D noise from the outside world, so it can build and install a brand new, way more advanced inner system. And this system has a much higher purpose.
So what exactly is this new inner operating system? It's called the 0 point. And this is a really important concept. Think of it as your own personal inner sanctuary. A quiet, peaceful space inside you that's completely free from all the outside noise and distractions. It's in this sacred, quiet space that you can finally create a deeper, direct line of communication to the cosmos and to your own higher self. Okay, so understanding the why behind all this is one thing, right? But how do we actually take part in building this 0 point? This is where we get to the practical stuff, the inner work that this time of solitude is really asking us to do. This quote, wow, it just perfectly captures the heart of this entire shift. For so long, most of us have looked outside of ourselves, to our jobs, to our partners, to our social lives, for our sense of worth, for love, for validation. This inner work is all about flipping that script completely and finally turning that search inward. So how do we actually do this? Well, first, we stop running from the silence and we start to embrace it. Then, we use that quiet to look back on our whole life's journey and pull together all the wisdom we've gathered along the way. Next, we combine all those lessons with that pure, unconditional love that's at the very core of our being. And the ultimate goal? It's to find this deep, unshakable peace and fulfillment just by being you, without needing anything at all from the outside world. That is what it means to complete your 0 point. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Does this journey just end with me being a hermit forever? Absolutely not. Actually, it's the total opposite. The reward for all this inner work is a completely new kind of connection, something so much deeper than before. Let's talk about the final outcome.
The most important piece of advice from our source is to just stop fighting this feeling. Don't be afraid of the quiet moments. Don't fear the solitude. Instead, just lean into it. Embrace the silence. Because that is where the real work and the real magic truly begins.
And here is the beautiful paradox in all of this. The whole journey starts with a feeling of disconnection from the world you used to know. but it ends with a connection that's infinitely deeper, infinitely more profound. Because once your inner sanctuary, your 0 point, is finally built, you open yourself up to what the Source calls true multidimensional connection. And that's not just a connection to other people who get it, but a connection to all of life, to the very fabric of the universe itself.
So the biggest takeaway here is this. What might feel like a very lonely ending could actually be the very beginning of your most profound, most connected chapter yet. If this cosmic truth brings you peace, type 0 point built in the comments and hit the like button to anchor this frequency.